I was born in West Bridgford, Nottingham, in 1921.
Can you remember your time at school?
My school days, yes, I went to an ordinary council school, and I was there. I know I had my appendix out once when I was in the school, and I had to go into hospital. I've been to the swimming baths at in the evening, and because I'd gone there, it had caused this pain, so that I had to have that seen to. So I remember that.
Do you think the war had much effect on your schooling, and just before you joined up?
No, not really. No, it didn't have much effect on it at all. Because I don't know whether the war had begun when I. It had. I think it had begun, but only just. Yes.
So you were a teenager when you joined the WAF?
I was a teenager when I joined the WAF, yes. I was about 20, I think, 19 or 20. And my father had a business in what they call the Nottingham Lace Market. And he had a business there, but unfortunately he had to pack it in because of difficulties, really. You know, the difficulties that happened in those days. And but there were church people, my parents were. My father was an air raid warden. Right. So he was out at night and that sort of thing, and had to be there if any bombs dropped or anything, which they did on the odd occasion. There was some bombing down the road from where we lived, yes, and it was a bit frightening. It was frightening, actually, but at least they coped with it, the situation, you know, at the time.
Did it cause much damage?
It did at the time, but yes, on the properties, yes, but they coped with it. I went to work in Boots offices, Boots the chemist offices, which was on Station Street, Nottingham, by the Midland Station. And then eventually I was called up for the forces, and my friend and I decided we would go in the Air Force. And so we plumbed for the Air Force, and that was it. We went in the Air Force, the pair of us. And but she wasn't on the same station as me; she was on a different station. But I was on a bomber station. So was she, actually. But and then I loved the life. I really did love the life. It was very fascinating to me.
Were your mum and dad pleased that you went into the RAF?
They didn't mind, because my brother was already in the RAF, so they didn't mind that I went in the RAF, because I chose that more than anything else, because I was fond of the RAF, you know, in many ways, really.
How long were you away from home?
I must have been away about 3 to 4 years, I think. Be something like that. I was stationed at Sutton, which is between Newark and Ratcliffe-on-Trent, as you might say, really. And I was stationed there for 2 years. Then I went down to Waterbeach, in Cambridge. I was an office girl. I typed and did shorthand and that sort of thing.
On the airfield where you were based, did you see many different types of aeroplanes, or were they just all bombers?
They were mostly Lancaster bombers, yes. But occasionally we saw the odd different plane, but not very often, because our squadron was Lancasters.
Can you remember how many airplanes there were at the airfield?
There must have been two flights, A and B flight or something, at Sutton. So that would be 20 planes, I should think. Yes, I'm sure of that, yes.
And was it the same number at Waterbeach?
Yes, it's the same number at Waterbeach, yes, it was. That was 514 Squadron.
Did you have anything to do with the Dambusters squadron?
No, unfortunately no, I didn't. But we knew all about what was happening, the Dambusters raid that went over the dams, you know.
Yeah.
And I used to have to do night duty in the RAF, and but there was always some man who would come and sit with me, sort of thing, you know, which was very nice for me. I remember once a plane, we knew it was in trouble up in the sky, and it suddenly came down and crashed, and they were killed, the men were, and I remember that so well. It was terrible, really. It was shocking. They were killed, the men in it.
During your time in the WAF, can you remember anything that sort of amused you at all?
Amused me. Well, I think that I certainly used to get the same tea on a Sunday and that sort of thing, you know, which sounds a bit peculiar, but I did we got the same tea, beetroot and whatever it was in those days, you know. But I used to go to all the dances and that sort of thing, because I could dance in those days. I can't now.
When they announced the ending of the war,
Yes.
did you have any sort of parties or celebrations where you were?
We did all go down to the pub at night and join in celebrations there. Yes, we did. Yes.
Okay.
But then I came out the Air Force about 3 or 4 years later, and I went to the solicitors and got a job there.
Was it a bit of a letdown when you left the WAF then?
In a way, yes, because I was going into Civvy Street, wasn't I? Into an office, and I could have gone back to Boots, the chemist, but I didn't want to go there. I wanted to go differently, and so I went to the solicitors and got a job there, and I loved it actually. I really did.
When did you move to Sutton-on-Sea?
That was about 4 or 5 years ago, with my second husband, and you know, we moved there because we'd been over here and we liked the way of life over here. It was quiet, and we both went for that.